Bismillah, Assalamu alaikum. Video games are a medium where we build worlds, where other people can experience, where they can embrace and see the things we would like them to see. So, to some degree, whether we like it or not, the worlds we create for other people to experience is impacted by our own perceptions. So, how we view cultures, how we view people, how we view religion, in this case, are influenced by our own perceptions and our own values. And those that end up experiencing it ends up taking that as some form of representation. It is really how people end up coming towards our cultures and our way of living. Often some people, they've never actually seen what other parts of the world are like. And sometimes through games is the first experience that they may have. So pretty much a lot of these AAA games are developed by a lot of Western countries. The issue is how they want to represent Muslims. It's often oversimplified, negative, fearful. And then those that end up experiencing that representation of Muslims end up taking a perception that isn't real. So because of these stereotypes that are being implemented through games, I would like to talk about the Muslim representation inside games, why it's problematic, and I guess why improving it really does matter. Often in a lot of popular games, Muslims or Muslim majority regions are portrayed simply with war or, often the evil character. Whether that's implemented through them being, leaders but dictators or just simply through violence. So one of those games is actually Call of Duty Warfare. This game was extremely popular. It was praised for its story, and a lot of people played it. The issue is, it was at the cost of representing Muslims in Arab regions in a negative way, a war-torn country with heavy ties to conflict and terrorism. I mean, just look at these scenes and you make judgment for yourself. But these issues are far beyond just one game. It is represented in many other games, like Battlefield, Medal of Honor, and often a lot of military shooting games, just like those two which I said. Always showing Muslims in a situation of always being in this battlefield of sort, rather than actually saying that, they're humans with full lives like the rest of us. But even games outside the military genre don't always represent Muslims in the best light. So, for example, this game, Dying Light. This is a fictional city in Iran, which is quoted with Muslim majority locations. Its people become the testing ground for a zombie outbreak, with resources cut off from the outside world. The main antagonist is Qadir Rais Suleiman. Carries names associated with power and Islamic history. So, Qadir, which is actually in Arabic, Qadir, meaning, powerful or capable, and Rais, meaning leader, but in Arabic is Rais, and Suleiman as a referencing to the Prophet King.
Chaos, Crane. Chaos is the one true order of things. But to pretend otherwise is the sheerest folly. Allow me to demonstrate. Bassam, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Further reinforcing a villainous image tied to Muslim cultural markers. These are only just some popular examples. There were a few more, and it's not limited to negative representation of the Muslim world. It's many other worlds which are also misrepresented. And to be fully honest, I don't necessarily think that a lot of these games, they're intentionally just simply trying to demonize Muslims. I think it's a consequence of the wider society. It's a consequence of, the media, and often that is the norm. And often developers rely on, familiar stereotypes. But over time, these patterns add up and they shape how audiences perceive Muslims and the wider Muslim culture in present time. But in saying all of that, I understand that it's not always all bad all the time, because there are a few games that did their due diligence to try and represent Muslims and Muslim cultures in a better light. So, for example, Assassin's Creed Mirage. This game embraces the Abbasid era, and it's also known as generally the Islamic Golden Age in Baghdad. It allows players to hear authentic Arabic dialogue.
Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! La ilaha illallah! Wallahu Akbar!
هل الجميع هنا؟
ليم الطوغان ابن أرسلان الآن إننا ننتظرك.
You can hear the adhan, which is the call to prayer. And even respects Muslim practices by adjusting the in-game music during religious moments. Mirage doesn't shy away from depicting prayers or daily life, offering a rare look at Islamic culture outside the usual conflict narrative. Another one is Tekken, actually. Game Tekken, with the character Shaheen. Shaheen is a Saudi Arabian fighter, designed with input from actually Saudi artists. Modern traditional attire blended respectfully. And he's portrayed positively with dignity, professionalism, and no villain stereotypes. These examples show that better representations of Muslim is possible, and that I guess players do appreciate it. So while the industry is improving and somewhat becoming better at Muslim representation, I do think we're still a long way. I think it's not just to be portrayed in a better light through, action games, in this case, things that require some form of, killing or something of the like. I don't think it's just the desert that makes the Arab world, in this case, a place, an environment that is good enough. But as the global world grows, players expect us to move away from these stereotypes and outdated portrayals and to start seeing people as people. Not simply just narrative shortcuts and exotic background elements. It's important that, game developers and the wider media start representing Muslims in marginalized communities with more respect, more depth, and more accuracy. And don't get me wrong, this isn't really about political correctness. It's about world building and acknowledging how video games can shape millions of players about cultures beyond their own. So I guess as the gaming world continues to evolve, so should our portrayal of people. So let's do our bit in pushing better portrayals of Muslims within games. And part of being able to do that is that we actually start taking control of our own narratives, that we start inputting more ideas into helping and supporting better portrayals, whether that's through culture, whether it's through, the religion, or whether that's through just the wider understanding of the Muslims from the Muslim perspective, or just making your own games. And partially, that is also why I'm here, is to demonstrate and speak about, games, but I'm very interested as a Muslim to talk about Muslim perceptions within the gaming world. I make games. It'll be in my description. So go over there to that channel and subscribe, and you will see games which are somewhat influenced by Islamic philosophy. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.